watching the Faithful Fan Talk Podcast with your host, the Noster. Featuring live takes, news updates, game reactions, with real Lakers and 49ers fans. And now, time to get right into it with your host.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Faithful Fan Talk Podcast edition of the 49ers show. I am your host, the Noster, and we have our guest today, Flo from the Cover 5 team, ready to talk some football here today. And before we get into today's topic, which is going to be Mike Evans, want to make sure to remind you guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, and subscribe to social media, Faithful Fan Talk. Alrighty, Flo, we've had you on a guest here before. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you again for having me on. I've been seeing your progression. You know, you've gotten better every single time that I've seen you. I look forward to your episodes when I do watch them. You have the voice for it. You got the great intro, and we're talking Mike Evans today, so I'm excited to talk about this guy because, like I told you, you're getting a great player, Mike Evans. And earlier today, I showed you that video about him in the end zone. That's going to make a huge difference in your offense. So let's talk about him.
Yeah, it will. Just to square back from what you said earlier, I mean, I can't do any worse. I can only get better. So
right.
that is the end goal, to always try to improve the show and many assets. So thanks for all the tips you've given. It's been of great help, and hopefully we can still continue to strive to improve the show. And just gain some more guidance from you as we continue to move forward.
Always.
So yeah, let's talk about Mike Evans, because I know we talked about Mike Evans a little bit a few weeks ago when we were talking about the draft and everything. We've already moved on from the draft, so let's talk about Mike Evans a little bit. So Mike Evans, he joined us to the team on a 3-year deal. So let's talk about a lot of the attributes that he provides for us. Obviously, we have a proven Super Bowl winner. He's got the experience. Yep. He's got all the accolades that a wide receiver that you're going to have for the next 3 years is what is critical. What can you provide for us that Mike Evans will be able to bring to the table on a consistent basis to the 49ers?
Yeah, you know, like I said last time we had an episode, this guy was set to break the record, right? Jerry Rice's record.
He got injured.
Yeah, right. Unfortunately, you know, he got injured. And, you know, he is going to give you numbers. He's going to show up. And like I told you last time too, don't be scared or don't be worried if he only has like 3 catches in one game. Don't be like, oh man, like this guy he's not cutting it. Mike Evans is going to do whatever it takes to win a football game, right? If you have to roll coverage to him, if you have to double team him, he will essentially do whatever it takes for your team to win. So it's not just the stats that stick out for Mike Evans. It's his leadership skills, his ability to not be a selfish receiver. And this is a position where most receivers are very selfish. They want the ball.
Yeah.
They don't want not to be fed, right? And with that many weapons on your team, this is going to make him a lot better. Because for years, Mike Evans was the guy on our team, right? He was the number 1 receiver when we had Jameis Winston, when we had Josh McCown, when we had Mike Glennon. The guy will produce no matter who you have on the team. And I think aside from probably the Brady team, this is probably the most talented receiving group he's been a part of, or just as an offense. And a coach that is an offensive-minded coach is going to utilize him. It's going to make him, you know, I expect him to have 1,000 yards, if not more, this year. And he should, if he stays healthy, he's going to be a great asset to your team. You okay?
Sorry there. I had a fire truck here. Don't want that.
I had
That's
something
the
else
all.
happen by too. I don't know what it was, but go ahead.
I'm not muted.
I was like, did I freeze again? Oh no. Not again.
No. That's the beauty of the show. You never know what's gonna happen. Get some unfiltered noise in the background. But yeah, you mentioned it well. Obviously, just looking at here the stats: 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons to start out his NFL career. You bring out veteran leadership. You got a Hall of Fame level credentials. I mean, you name it, right? And Super Bowl championship. Now, that's the one thing that I don't think anybody in the 49ers, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but I cannot think of a single person right now in the 49ers, whether it's the coaching staff or whether it's even from the players. Nobody has a championship ring to show success.
Wow.
So to bring in a guy in Mike Evans who actually has the experience necessary and the leadership, and say, hey, okay, I'm gonna be there in your team to hopefully be that missing piece you need. But if you're gonna if we're gonna be successful, you're gonna want to follow my lead, because I've proven to you the formula for success. And the fact that he brings in that sort of and Brock Purdy mentioned this in an interview, which we'll get to in a little bit. He mentioned that he brings a specific pressure. That's the kind of thing you want to have on your team, because he's expecting you to go from this level to that level, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So he's going to demand excellence and a specific work ethic from the team. Obviously, you have your Christian McCaffrey, you got George Kittles. I mean, we already know what they have to provide. I don't think we need to question their work ethic or conditioning or whatever. But for the younger guys who are going to be in the locker room and need somebody to rely on for, okay, this is the guy that is going to set the bar in the organization for how to have a successful season. Who else but to look up to but Mike Evans?
Correct.
Yeah. So we're gonna just look at a clip here, and I'm just going to go to this interview that we had with Brock Purdy, and he's just going to mention, talk about a little bit of what having Mike Evans brings to the table.
That's right. You also have some new faces around. I was wondering if you've gotten the chance to hang out with Mike Evans at all yet, and what that experience has been like for you.
Yeah, he's been awesome. Obviously, just what he's done in his career. He's a Hall of Famer, 1,000-yard seasons, really year after year, his whole career. He's won Super Bowl. Just like being around him and in his presence and understanding, what it's going to take to play with him and just like honestly like the good pressure that it brings. Like, all right,
talking about the good pressure he brings,
demanding success and demanding to be great, and I love that. I want to play with guys like that. Obviously I've played with guys like that with George and Christian and all that, but to bring Mike in the fold now and be able to have a big target like he is, but how he sees the game and him breaking down routes that he's run with Tom and Baker Mayfield, and I'm like, all right, like this guy knows ball. And so I'm really excited, and as we go, we're just going to continue.
All right, so he was just mentioning right now how he has played with the likes of Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, and how that pressure that he brings to the table, he's able to pretty much get the best out of everybody in the team. What do you think about those comments from Mike Evans? I mean, obviously he's had success with Tom Brady. I believe he only played 1 or 2 seasons with Tom Brady,
3.
and yet they were able three. They were able to get a chip out of it.
Yep, his first year.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's right. It was the first year. So
Yeah, everything that he said is on spot on. Like you said, he is a leader on the team, and that position is hard to have that kind of attitude as a receiver because most receivers, like I said, just want to be fed. They're not really good leaders. I don't really know too many receivers that can actually say, "Hey, that guy has all the accolades. I want to be like that guy. I want to follow that guy." On and off the field, Mike Evans is just clean cut. He is going to show up and he's going to produce no matter who is that quarterback. So having someone like Purdy, who is a good quarterback, in my opinion, is just going to make him better, right? So Mike Evans didn't just choose your team because he wanted to leave the Bucs. I mean, he had it all in the Bucs too. He had a good team in the Bucs, had a good quarterback. He chose your team because he sees you guys as a potential Super Bowl contender, right? And he believes you guys can make it to the next level with this experience. I believe that you guys can. I mean, I think that even though you guys are in a tough division, him alone is just going to change your offense completely in the red zone. You saw what I showed you earlier. The guy is unstoppable on these fade routes. You cannot stop a fade route with a 6'5", 230-pound frame. I mean, how do you stop that?
yeah, and I've seen a lot of the clips. It's like almost you just throw it in the end zone. He's just gonna like just grab it like his hands are like a magnet. He's just unbelievable plays that you know Hall of Fame star caliber receivers only seem to make. I mean, you never have. I don't think I've seen that type of player since like Jerry Rice. You know, it's just I mean, not that I'm
Maybe
trying to
T.O.
make
without the attitude.
comparisons. Yeah. So I mean, it's been a while since we're accustomed to that, and to bring him on to the 49ers. He's definitely. I mean, whether or not he ends his career with the 49ers or not, I mean, we'll see. I'm pretty sure he will at some point be retired by the Bucs. Obviously, you cannot forget what he did to the organization with the Bucs. So he may, even if he does end his career with the 49ers, maybe he'll just sign a special one-day contract with the Bucs. Yep. Have a ceremony, hang him up in the rafters, retire his jersey, whatnot. But yeah, I mean, obviously, also his ability, to have good camaraderie with teammates and things of that sort. Now he had 8 games last season because of injuries. Now my only concern is, like you said previously, his health. As long as he can stay healthy throughout the season, I can see this as a win-win for the 49ers. Obviously, we have that conspiracy theory with the whole magnetic EMF in the practice field,
Yeah.
But so obviously, I mean, they shrugged it off as, well, it's just a theory, whatever. But I mean, other than health, I mean, I mean, there's not really much of a concern that I have with having him around. Do they expect him to be the number one receiver? Of course. We're gonna pair him up with Christian Kirk. So you're also going to have, whenever Kittle comes back, obviously he's got your tight end. Some are trying to say he might be back for week 1 against the Rams in Australia, which I mean, obviously, realistically, I'm not buying that. It's just way too soon to try to bring him in on week 1, especially out in Australia. I can see him more being slowly getting brought in, and maybe weeks 3 or 4, or even mid-season, But I mean, we have too many weapons to be concerned about bringing him back too early. So, now I'm going to continue playing this clip here and see. There's some more additional things that Purdy had high props to say about Mike Evans.
That's so interesting because obviously the quarterback, you're a leader on the field, off the field for this team, but then you have someone of his caliber step into that locker room and you're practicing with him every day. Do you pick his brain? Is it just natural how you guys talk about the game? What can you learn from him?
Yeah, I think just like his experience, he's going in, I think, year 13 or 14, and just talking about like certain routes in the red zone. And I'm like, hey, dude, on film, I saw you run this one route. We have a similar concept. Like, what are you thinking? And he's like, actually, it's not that concept. I had a choice to go around the DB a certain way, and Tom knew to put the ball there, and that's something that we had talked and worked through. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So that's like stuff that we're going to, have to talk through and work through. But I'm so excited because this guy sees the game, I feel like a quarterback does. Sometimes with skill players, it's tough because, like, they run the route. Coach taught me 8 yards. I'm breaking this way or that way. But when you get a guy that can see the game like a quarterback and have a feel for it, those are the kind of guys that I think they take their game to the next level, and you get a Hall of Famer like Mike Evans.
So he was just talking about right now how Mike Evans has this unique ability as a wide receiver to see the game as a quarterback does. And when he's in the red zone, he pretty much expects the quarterback to be able to just throw him in the right spots. How do you interpret that?
He touchdown in the red zone, man. I told you, like, I sent you those clips. I sent his first career touchdown was in the red zone. I remember this very clearly. It was against the Steelers with Mike Glennon. And if you guys don't know who that is, it's for a reason, because he's not a good quarterback. But even with him, right, he threw him a fade route, and that was the beginning of his career. That was him just making a living out of that. His first year, he had 14 touchdowns as a rookie, which was, unbelievable considering we had Vincent Jackson on the team, who was our number one receiver at the time. So, it's a great analysis. I think it's true that he does see the game as a quarterback. He knows where the ball should be placed. He knows once him and Purdy get on the same page as far as like his speed, as far as like where he likes the ball, it's going to be insane to see how much he does. I think he is going to have his best season as a professional,
as a quarterback.
Yeah. With Mike Evans, because I don't think he's had receivers like Devo Samuel, right? And I think, what was Jennings, right? Was the other receiver?
Juwan Jennings, yeah. Which he's out the door. He's in Minnesota now.
Exactly right. Not to this caliber. Even though Kittle was his main target, having someone on the outside who can stretch the field, and that's probably his biggest critique, is that he's a one-trick pony. He doesn't know how to run all the route tree. He doesn't need to. That's what makes him amazing, that this guy, he can go for a go route, and you still can't stop it.
Yeah.
Right? You can send this guy on a go route, and then you stretch the field, and now all of your underneath stuff is wide open. Right? You can send McCaffrey on a wheel route. You can send your tight end on a slant or an in route. So Mike Evans does so much on the field, just his presence alone. And again, we saw this with our team last year. When we lost him, this offense collapsed. And it was for all those haters who were like, oh, Mike Evans is not a true number one. He's not as good as Devontae Adams. He's not as good as what. Look, you saw how that offense collapsed without Mike Evans, right? Yeah, there was other injuries on the team, but Mike Evans is a true number one. He's going to change the offense, and I'm happy that he's on your team. Although I did want him on my team, obviously, but I'm glad he didn't go to the Raiders or like the Chiefs. And that would have pissed me off.
Oh, that, yeah.
I'm glad it's you guys, because at least I can go see him and like root for him,
Yeah, we don't need to be rooting for the enemy at this point. Oh boy, yeah. There's actually only one time I actually rooted for Kansas City, and believe it or not,
wow.
Yeah,
never.
There was only. It was when they were. This was back in the '90s, if I remember correctly. I was a big. Yes, yes. When San Francisco was pretty much on their next quarterback, like of the future, which was Steve Young, they kept flip flopping back and
Yeah.
forth between,
Remember that?
okay, we're gonna go half the game with Steve, we're gonna go half the game with Joe, or even on half the drives we would go half Montana, half Steve, and you never really had this sort of like, okay, this is the guy. And when it came time to deciding, okay, who's going to be our permanent quarterback, you know, Joe Montana, obviously, he made his decision. You know, he went to go to KC, and that's the only time I remember actually going for Kansas City. He went against the Denvers at that time, which had John Elway. Um, he Denver was and they still are one of my rival teams because obviously my sibling, he's a Broncos fan, and as well as your sibling, your brother is
Yes.
also a Denver fan. So it's like we got that we can relate on that.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't hate
but
Denver. You do, but I don't hate him.
uh, yeah, no. So I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future we'll have this San Francisco Denver rematch. Be nice to have, but yeah, yeah. Anyways, going back to the main subject here, um, the fact that Mike Evans can see the game like a quarterback is a pretty much, it's like a gift. Like not many receivers can have that ability. I mean, you can have your Brandon Ayuk, but even then they come with limits. I mean, they
Yep.
can only do so much, and honestly, once we're done with the drama with him, and he can do whatever the hell he pleases. Um, I mean, I'll be glad to have a matchup with whatever team he's on, and just obviously just dismantle him.
Yeah.
Knowing that we got Evans on our end, and I mean Evans again. I'll take Evans over Brandon Ayuk any day of the week. So, but obviously, you have a guy with a high football IQ and that, you know. So he's going to elevate everybody else's game.
Yep.
Mike, I don't think Brock Purdy realizes yet because he hasn't worked with him yet. But as he gets to work out with him and has his reps and in training camp and practices and sets, and he's going to get fairly accustomed to how Mike Evans wants the ball in certain spots, especially in the end zone. I think what you mentioned earlier is pretty much spot on. And I may make a short out of that, like you said. I would not be surprised if they become number one team
Red zone offense. Yep.
in the red zone offense. Yeah.
How do you stop McCaffrey? How do you stop Mike Evans and Kittle at the same time in the red zone? I mean, that's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, and we were like think one of the worst last year in red zone. I mean I often referenced how when we've been messaging each other and I'm watching the game and I'm watching a 49ers game, that like they literally drive all the way down the field to get to the red zone. And the fact that they can't even get past the 5-yard line. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
I mean, sheesh. Kenny, I mean, sure, it's fine to score a field goal, but come on. Going a whole game just scoring field goals is not going to get you long-term success. It may buy you a game or two, but are you really going to be able to get over the hump and win a championship with not being able to get consistently targeted in the end zone and get a touchdown? No, it's not going to happen. So
it's not, and although his production, obviously decreased because of the injury, he's not that far removed from probably one of his best seasons in 2023 when he first had Baker. He averaged almost 16 yards per catch, and that was his second highest of his career in 2023, right? So that's only 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It has dropped in the last 2 years, but again, one of them was an injury, and I'm not worried about him at all. I think if he's healthy, he should be fine. He should have a comeback season, and even his longest 2 years ago was, I think, his longest catch was 2 years ago at 75 yards. So he hasn't dropped speed. He can still put up those numbers, right? And
Yeah.
he's when he has the ball in his hands, or if he has targets going his way, he basically catches about 70 to 80% of the balls that go his way. So you're not going to have a no hands out there. He will have some times where he'll drop the ball and you'll be like, what was that? Like, how do you drop that ball? But that's very rare. It doesn't happen all the time. You're not going to have a stone hands out there. You're going to have a guy who can actually catch the ball. Just his radius is insane. It's super, super huge. So I'm just happy. Again, he's on your team and not anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Brock Purdy, obviously, he's still developing as a quarterback. So, I mean, there may be some trial and error along the way.
Of course.
But we can only hope that as he gets familiar with the routes that he runs, that he'll be able to put the ball in the right spots and get him in the right hands. I mean, Brock Purdy, not yet there to that level yet, but hopefully he'll get from a certain level here to there, which will help Brock not only be able to help Mike Evans, but now that you have all different options, be able to get X to Christian Kirk and all these other wide receivers. De'Zhaun Stribling, hopefully we'll get some time. We don't know yet. How Kyle Shanahan will implement him. He's going to be a rookie. He's gonna have to earn that time to get into the roster. I expect maybe he'll get some time if we're having some other issues maybe get Mike Evans some rest. Maybe he'll put him in for a few drives or a few plays. We do not want to exhaust the hell out of Mike Evans.
You don't need to because of all the weapons you guys have. You don't need. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be that guy. He can be, but you don't need to have him do that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I do appreciate you being on the show.
Of course.
I know we can have more conversations in the future, and I know we still got a long ways to go. I believe training camp's still a few months away. How is your team looking right now? I know right now it looks like
OTAs have started.
Yes, OTAs have started. Everything looking good on your end?
I'm looking forward to this defense, man, because we got a lot of guys that we drafted. We got Bain, we got Scott, and like I said in my last short, if you guys follow the channel, Trotter as well, Jashad Trotter, these three guys can potentially change the entire defense, the way Bowles actually can run it. Trotter is a thumper. He can stop the run. I know that our last time we spoke, I wasn't too excited about the pickup. But now that I looked at his tape and saw that he's a run stuffer, that's good. Scott is a DB, but he can play safety. He can play nickelback. He can even play linebacker. They're talking about having a dime package with this guy.
Yeah.
And that just changes the whole defense because now you don't know who's blitzing. So Bain, he's going to get to the quarterback and all these other guys. The receivers too, as well. We did pick up a receiver in the draft, Hurst. Is supposed to replace Mike Evans. I know he's not replaceable, but he's a big body guy. He's a little bit faster than Mike, but look, I look forward to what we're gonna do, man. It should be a great season if everything goes well.
I heard a lot of good stuff about Bain too, so I do have high hopes for your team. I'm not sure I'm in agreement with the whole 9-7 record.
What do you think? You think we'll go higher than that?
I think they might be at the very least, maybe 10-6.
Okay.
I can't see them going to 9-7.
I said that because of what happened last year, the collapse. And even though I spoke highly of the defense right now, I also need to see it on paper. It looks amazing, but how do they play out? We got the Bengals that's a very, very big test. Joe Burrow against these receivers. So we're gonna get right away. Yeah. I would say that that the ceiling is 12-5, and the floor is 9-8. That's what I would say.
I think it's it's reasonable. Yeah.
Sure.
We're all trying to be as realistic, but also
I just want to be
positive,
bro.
but yet
I don't want to be
realistic.
disappointed as a fan. I want to be like, you know what? These guys are going to go to the Super Bowl, and then it's like they sucked. Like last year, we were 6-2, and look at what happened to us. We collapsed.
Yeah,
so I prepare myself as a fan. You know, maybe that's what it is. You know,
you always want to be prepared for worst case scenario,
Yes.
barring I mean, you can have some injuries there. You can have all the talent in the world. You can have all the designs, the players, but if you start getting subsumed to a bunch of injuries, then there's not much you could do.
Exactly.
So you got to have some luck from the football gods as well. So
There you go.
Yeah. So cool. Good luck to you and your team. I'm pretty sure this will not be the last time. We'll get on another episode. If you guys have any comments on our interview, on the show, on your thoughts on Mike Evans, make sure to subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, like the video. Until then, thank you for joining us, Flo. And until then, I'll talk to you guys later.